Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy for Now. It's me, Isabel, here with my July highs, lows, surprises, stats. Just a quick video to wrap up the month. If you're curious about everything I read, it's as always on Goodreads, and also my Instagram stories has the highlight of everything, and also blogs generally have everything I read. But I do this because honestly, I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about 16 books, 15 books in a DNF forever. It's too much. It's too much. It's fine. I like doing these. Anyways, let's discuss the month of July. I keep trying to say August. It is not August. It is July. So in the month of July, I read 15 books and DNF'd one. So my stats will kind of include that DNF'd book because I realized after I do this, and I'm not going to go do the math right now, that I'd put the data in for like the page count and stuff when I DNF'd, and I didn't mean to, but it's fine. Of those 15 books and one DNF, I read 4,676 pages. I averaged a 3.8 on ratings, so that's kind of low for me. I listened to 30.9 hours of audio, so almost 31 hours of audiobooks. Read 6 titles from KU. And then for age demographics, it was all adult titles. I don't think I read a single other thing. Format-wise, it was 7 ebooks and 8 audiobooks. The DNF book is not included in that. That is why it's not. That's why it's 15 and whatever. Yeah, so for format, I read 7 ebooks and listened to 8 audiobooks. Let's dive right into my lows, which is my one DNF. This was a hard month to pick. I'm not going to deny this. Like, I struggled this month. I read a lot of decent things and a lot of just okay things and things that I don't know that I want to put on the lows list because they did what they were supposed to do. So they weren't necessarily a low. They just weren't what I wanted. You can go watch the Bonkers Food vlog if you're interested in that. But first up, we have a novel love story, which I did DNF about 30%, and I was bored. I was bored out of my mind. And if at 30% in your book I am bored, there's a problem, and it just means that book is not working for me. May, over at This Past Romance, my bestie, finished this book, spoiled it for me, and I'm glad I DNF'd it because I think you would have gotten a rant review otherwise. And I'm not opposed to rant reviews. I just don't really do them that often, but like, I'm with the people who didn't like this book. I do think there is an audience for this book. I think if you want, and if you're open to third act breakups that maybe aren't your favorite, this could work for you. If you're open to characters like having to give someone else a shot, this might work for you. For me, none of that felt essential to the character's growth. And that's where we're going to keep it because I got to keep it kind of vague. But yeah, I DNF'd this and I'm so glad I did. It will be in the ARC vlog when that comes later this month. But yeah, I don't know. I loved The Dead Romantics. I loved 7 Year Slip. This just did not work for me and I don't fully know why. But here we are. Let's talk about surprises, the fun part. Let's get into the fun stuff here, honestly. We have 3 surprises this month, and we'll talk about it at the end. Anyways, we have 3 surprises this month, and I'm honestly, like, very surprised by all 3 of them. So, first up, we have Cold Sweat by Vera Valentine. This is in the Bonkers Food blog, and like I said, I could have left some of these in for lows, but this one is definitely a surprise, because I just had so much fun with the Kool-Aid drink pitcher romance. It's silly. And I love a commitment to the bit. I love a commitment to be silly because it's fun. And that's what this is. It was fun. And that's what I wanted. And that is what I got. And I'm so happy about it. So yeah, this for me, perfection. Exactly what I wanted. But in a surprising way. Like I said, I didn't know it was what I wanted. I had no idea it was going to deliver like this. This is a step sibling. Their parents got married when they were older. Romance where they get stuck in a sauna together. And they bone. She bones the Kool-Aid pitcher. It's a time. Then we have, honestly, probably the biggest surprise for me, 5 Brothers by Penelope Douglas. I got an arc of this. I actually specifically got an audiobook arc of this, and I listened to it very quickly. It was in my last regular vlog. I'll link to it below if you're curious. This was weirdly, like, I enjoyed this. I have not loved a lot of Penelope Douglas's that I've read. I liked Birthday Girl. Credence was whatever. I read like Bully and Punk 57 back in the day. They're fine. They are what they are. Like she delivers, right? I did like Six Tryst Venom more than other books by her. So this follows the brothers from the Six Tryst Venom book. You don't have to have read that first though. But we get some peeks of our couple from Six Tryst. So that was fun. But this was interesting. I think this was a better delivered Credence. which is a weird statement. And I don't know that I thought I would ever say that, but I think this is like, she learned from Credence and did it better. Because basically our heroine, Christian, is kind of working her way through all 5 brothers a little bit here. And trying to figure out who she hooked up with that she doesn't know who it was this one night in the dark. So it was a time. It was a good time. I had fun. I had fun with Penelope Douglas in a way, like I said, I just didn't expect to have fun with it. And I did. So I'm very happy about that. And I'm excited to see where the next one goes, because we got a little preview of it, and I'm intrigued, and I would like that book. Then we have Do Me a Favor by Kathy Yardley. This is a new release. It just came out at the end of July. It is in KU with audio. I had an arc of it. I did not finish that arc because I just couldn't stick on it. And I'm wondering if for me, Kathy just works better in audio form, which is really interesting because it does happen sometimes where like I thrive with a book in audio versus ebook. So I was reading it. I made it about 45% and I was enjoying it. I didn't hate it by any means. But then I got the KU checkout in the audio and devoured the last 2 hours of it, if that, in like literally an afternoon without even trying. And I really enjoyed this. I think this was surprising. I was nervous because I loved role playing so much that this would not deliver. But same thing, we have well, not the same thing, but similarly, we have an older woman, younger man here. Role playing is not older woman, younger man, but older characters in their 40s. Okay, love that. Check. I'm interested. And then we have basically our heroine is a widow. I'm not fully versed on what took her husband out. He did have type 1 diabetes and like some other issues, it seems like, that were building up to him passing. And then, so she's a widow, she's struggling, she's moving into her now dead aunt's house that she's inherited, and is trying to like figure it out, right? Figure out life, get it together a little bit. And she's like 46. And I love that. I loved the theme of this, in which it was like, you kind of never have it figured out, y'all. Like, you just have to keep going. And I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Like, I think we all need that reminder sometimes that you're not going to have it together ever. It's just, that's just life. Or when you think you have it together, like a wrench will come flying at your face. It's cool. And then Hudson, our hero, is a dad to 2 twins. They are grown. They're fully grown, like early 20s. And he is the local handyman and trying to start up his contracting business. But he also leaves the island to hook up with people, and they kind of have this really beautiful romance. It's very sweet. A lot of self-discovery here with the two of them, and like the tension build, fantastic. Really, really enjoyed this. So much fun. They also both had to like kind of learn to ask for help and accept help, which I also super duper enjoyed. Okay, next, my highs. Oh my goodness, my highs. Okay, listen, this was a hard pick, but one of these waffled, but for sure a high was Cross the Line by Simone Sultani, something like that. You need to pick this book up. If you are a fan of Brother's Best Friend, if you are a fan of a golden retriever hero who will do anything for her, you need to pick this up. That like forbidden brother's best friend thing where they think they're not supposed to be together because of some things that happened with her and one of her brother's old friends, who like, there was a lot more to it in a good way. Like, it worked out. Pick this book up. If you like F1, pick this book up. It is so good. Dev is our hero and Willow is our heroine. She takes Dev on as a client for social media because he needs to fix his image after his social media person quit. And in doing so, they have to spend a lot of time together and things heat up. And like the best part is Dev is so worried about like ruining her career and like her viability in this job role, because he does not want her to be seen as like, you slept your way there. And I love that so much. It was so well done. And because of that, he's like, oh, we can't date. But like, instead, he perfectly ends up not arranging, but he kind of ends up connecting her with the right people to help them also be together and not have the same pressure, but also still be on the same like schedule, because they're both in racing still. This was so fun. I swooned multiple times during this, and I don't know the last time I read a contemporary. A lot of the books I've read lately haven't made me very swoony, but this made me swoony. He like bought out a store of macaroons for her, and I was like, yes, please. This is my love language. Grumps, if you're watching. Where's my box of cookies you can't eat? Yeah, I loved this immensely. I really loved the romance and everything about it. It was very fun. You also have representation for EDS, or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome in this, which is really great. And overall, just honestly, this was so good. So good. Then the other one I have to talk about. Okay, listen. Did I go on a marathon for 3.5 days? Yes. I read over 1,000 pages in 3 days. Who is she? I don't know, but it happened. I could not stop. So I got a TikTok. Somebody was like, this broke my reading slump, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Went to go get the novella. Oh my God, I can get it for free from the author. Got it for free from the author. Read the prequel novella, which was Her Vicious Beast. And I was like, I'm very intrigued now. I'm extremely intrigued. So I immediately picked up book 1. And I, no joke, started book 1 that night, woke up the next morning, finished book 1. It was like less than 12 hours. I read like a 500+ page book. And then I immediately started book 2. And then I went to cry because I was caught up. And we don't have, like, book 3 is dated for the end of December, which is probably not an accurate date because I feel like authors put that date and then move it accordingly. So it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But is it? I don't know. It might not. I don't know if I'm going to be okay. What is this series that I devoured? Well, this is a Why Choose romance in a shifter human world. So basically people in the world can shift into different animals. And our heroine is of the snake group. Her dad is the leader of the snakes. And she does not shift into a snake on her 13th birthday. No, she reveals a much bigger power, but is assumed by the public to be an eagle, which is like part of the healing group because one of her abilities is healing. But she's much more than that. And it's bonkers. So she assumes that identity, has to go into this weird old man's house and heal these prisoners she's to go in this old man's house and heals these prisoners in the basement. And in doing so, then is told that like she has to marry him. Some things happen. She goes on the run. In that basement, we meet some of the maids. And then she ends up at this reform school situation, kind of prison-esque school, where they teach the shifters between the ages of 18 and 25 how to be more human and not rely on their animal instincts, which is fascinating. And who shows up but the men from that basement, including a wolf shifter, a dragon shifter, and a shark shifter, which when she turned 13 and like her powers were revealed, she was going to have 5 different orders as mates, so different animals. It's a time. She's very independent. She is a little not like other girls, I will warn you of that, but in a way that made sense to me because she was raised very isolated and not around people. So she doesn't know how to be with people to an extent. And like there's a really wonderful found family element here as well that I loved. But this is really fun. I had so much fun. And then by book 2 we've met all 5 of the love interests by book 2. So that's a fun time. And I loved it. There is a shadow daddy of sorts. We don't fully know yet what he is. And I'm very curious. Yeah, it's a good time. I had so much fun. I do not know the last time I marathoned something like that. And like sometimes, you know, when you're just like, I just really want to marathon something. Nothing's working like that. And it is one of the things hits and it does. Oh my goodness. It's like the best feeling in the world. So yeah, that is the other high for the month. I feel pretty good about this month's reading. I'm happy with everything I read and I'm happy with the progress I made. I will note as I film this, it is not the end of July and anything else I read is just going to get bumped into August because I've got to get this up. Like I don't want to delay on my wrap up. So this kind of has to go up and that's what it is. So we'll see. Who knows? I'm probably going to read something I love and be like really mad I didn't get to talk about it already, but it'll be in my vlogs. So yeah, if you are here and hanging out and you hung out this long, let me know what you read and loved or hated in August. I always love to hear your DNFs, your 1 stars, and then your faves. Like I just like seeing what everyone else is reading. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can leave me a ghost emoji because you know what? I think I'm gonna decorate for Halloween, like when I get back from Steamy Lit. Like I think I'm gonna be decorating. We're gonna do a ghost emoji because I'm gonna decorate for Halloween, like early. I've got to. I need this mood boost in my life. So yeah, that's that. All right, I will have links to all these books, links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am, and I will talk to y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we wait.